First of all, I'll clear the board so that there's no anything cluttered on the board. And we'll start with a very simple way. What is a pin? So first of all, if I just play a rook here, they're playing this position. And if it is black to play, can the black knight move according to you guys? What do you think? No, the black knight cannot go anywhere because the rook is pinning the knight. So there are two kinds of pins. A pin in which the corner piece is a king, something like this kind of a pin. It's called as the absolute pin, in which the middle piece can never move. The middle piece is basically stuck. But suppose in a pin, you should also notice that the middle piece will always be of lower value and the corner piece will always be of higher value. I can do the same pin if I put a higher value piece like this, maybe. Now you can say that it is also a pin. Why? Because this time the middle piece is still of lower value and the corner piece is still of higher value. The corner piece is of higher value, see? Correct, Mihan?
Yeah.
And the middle one is of lower value. But this time, can the knight move? What do you guys think? Can this knight move? Absolutely. The knight can move. Now, whenever the knight moves in a pin, it's called as a relative pin. In this kind of a pin, the knight can move. Okay. But suppose if I do this kind of a pin, now Luhas, what do you think? Can the knight move? No. And if the king is over here, how can I pin the rook? How can I freeze the rook? The bishop will go. Anyone can say. I guess.
I know it.
Are you thinking of bishop to c3? All of you?
Yes. I know that. Yes.
Right? Everyone is thinking of bishop c3, right? Because now, can the rook move anywhere? What do you think? No.
It's a pin. It's an absolute pin.
It is absolute pin. In absolute pin, you can also understand that basically it's called as frozen. The rook is frozen. Yeah. It cannot move anywhere. Now, how do we understand higher level pins? You know, when we are playing game, how do we understand much higher level pins? Suppose, first of all, show of hands, is this simple concept clear to all of you? All four of you are clear with this concept? Or should we try one more? Let's try one more. Then we'll be going forward. Okay, then we'll be going forward. Now, guys, we are having this particular position. How can I freeze this knight? Who can tell me?
Me.
Vihan knows. Okay, what about others? Everyone knows the answer?
You have to go to A6.
Very good. I guess you guys are able to find that A6 was the move. I guess that's not a difficulty. Yeah, the knight is now, the moment you go here, the knight cannot move anywhere. It's an absolute thing. Now, let's try to go a bit higher level. Okay, let's try to go a bit higher level and try to understand.
Hey, that's easy.
Now, this is where
these are so easy.
Now, try to see. Can you guys see that the bishop over here has pinned the pawn? Everyone can see that? Show of hands if you guys can see. The pawn cannot move anywhere. What is the pawn trying to protect? The other pawn. But I have already told you that the pawn is frozen. It cannot move anywhere. So what I will do is rook takes. Okay, it's my move. Wait, it is white to play. And what I would do is rook takes pawn. Now, can you guys find the similar move? It is again frozen. It is white to play. What would you play in this particular situation? Yes, Harshit?
Move the queen to G1.
Not G1, directly, Harshit. Directly. Queen G6
G1
directly.
also G6.
Queen G6 directly. Luhas and Suchit, you guys are understanding as well? Queen G6?
Yes.
Are you guys able to find this move? Very good. Now, whenever we create absolute pins, see, it's very tricky. Pins are one of the most trickiest concepts in chess. That is why I try to teach pins at the very start of your chess journey, okay? Because whenever if we are very good at pins, trust me, you have mastered, maybe 20% of your chess. Pins are one of the most important concepts. Suppose if I try to do this thing, now, many time mistakes happen. What is under absolute pin right now? I want Suchit to answer this. Suchit, what do you think? What is under absolute pin right now?
Is kind of attack the king.
Correct. So you are saying we should not do this?
Yes. Then the pawn. So
Then the pawn can take us, yeah?
yes.
Now this time, Luhas, what about you? This time, can we do this?
No.
No, very good. Vihan, can we do this now?
No.
It's very
Pawn
important.
will gonna get you, and you don't
Exactly,
have it.
because
And they're gonna get 9 points.
we have not even frozen the pawn. So suppose if we are having the strategy to do like this, and
Against the frozen pawn.
he moves like this. Now, can we again do this? What do you think?
No.
Wait, quietly. Wait, Vihan, quietly. Okay, Harshit says yes. Vihan says no. What about Luhas? Can we do this? No, okay. Suchit, what about you? Can we do this now?
No.
Very good. We cannot do this, guys. See why? The pawn is still not under any pin. So if you go there, I might take you by the king or I might take you by the pawn. It's not frozen anymore. You have to be very careful with pins. Now, I'll show you one more example, a very famous example. See, suppose, let me show you a situation in which we have already created a frozen pin.
Pin.
Okay. Now, guys, can we see that we are trying to, we have already frozen this knight. Yeah, this mighty knight is already under pin. What kind of pin is it? Is it absolute or is it relative?
Absolute.
It's absolute.
Related.
No, it's absolute, Harshit. Because on this line,
The pawn is going to kill the rook.
the pawn is no. See, in this particular position, what is the pin in a line? If the middle piece is a smaller piece and the corner piece is a bigger piece and the king, it's a pin. And that's an absolute one. Now, the problem with now rook taking knight is there's a small problem that if you do like this, suddenly pawn eats you. My goodness. I have told it already, never ever use a bigger value piece to capture a smaller value piece if it is already protected. But we also know at the same time, this mighty knighty cannot move. This knight cannot move here. So how do we try to win the knight without losing the rook? Who can find this solution? Take your time. Yes, Vihan, please.
First, you have to get the pawn, then you have to get it.
Very nice. Excellent. So,
that's what I told you.
Try to win the knight now without losing the rook. Remember this knight.
First, you have to get the pawn, then the rook.
So, what's the move here? Pawn to?
Pawn to. You have to first to get him. First, you have to get him by moving to F4.
F4. You try to scare the knight. You try to scare him away, but he cannot even move. Oh my goodness. Luhas, why it cannot even move? I'm trying to save him somewhere. It is a pin, right? It's frozen.
Yeah.
And this time the king goes away. So now he's ready to move. We cannot waste any further time. So we'll grab it. And
then he grab you.
And now we are having a rook extra. We'll win the game. But this kind of pin was absolute. Now let me show you a bit of a difference now. See why pins are so tricky. All of you, please focus. Suppose if I just try to put this piece. Now, what do you think? What is this kind of pin? Is it absolute or is it relative?
Absolute.
Take your time, see properly. See properly. Is it absolute or is it relative? Because the corner piece is not the king anymore. And now
It
if you
looks
try to do the same thing, see how it backfires, because the knight can move now. So knight will go to f3, check on you, and now you are the one losing your own rook. See how pin backfires? Who understood this difference between absolute and relative pin? Let's see if you guys are understanding the pins. Okay. So it is white to play and we are under check. And he's saying, you know what? You might lose the rook. If you try to escape with the king, bye-bye rook. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose my rook. Just like this. Yes, Harshit? What is my move?
Basically, move the rook to g5, then the queen will then...
You pin the queen. You pin the queen now. See, the queen cannot move anywhere. The queen cannot move anywhere. See, that is why pin is so important. And if it takes, you take, and this you are still in the position. Am I clear with this? Suchit, are you understanding this idea?
Yes.
Did you find Suchit, did you find rook to g5 move? This move?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Now let's go back. Let's see some more simple examples. Okay. What can I take for free? Take your time. I want all, do not speak the answer. I'll ask one by one randomly. Do not speak the answer. What can I take for free in this position? Okay. 3 of you have found it, but I want all of you guys to find it. Take your time.
The rook.
The rook. Okay. I won't disclose the answer. What about Suchit? What can I take for free, Suchit?
We take away the bishop, then it's no, we'll just put like that. It will be a pin.
Okay. What about Harshit?
Basically, just move the rook to e7.
Okay. So now we have kind of heard the class and now time to disclose the answer. See, suppose right now black is already +1. Can you guys see that? Computer shows us already that black is +1. If you do this move, then I might just take you. And now if you take me, I might take you again. And now who is the one having pieces? It is only black side. So black will just try to fight for a win, try to make sure that one of the pawns get converted, yeah? But I can see right now that this bishop is under pin, absolute pin. So in chess, you have to see that this bishop is literally frozen. It cannot move anywhere. What does it look? What is the bishop protecting right now? It looks like that the bishop is protecting the rook. Actually, it's not. So you just take it for free. The bishop wants to really take it, but he cannot because it's a pin. Now, show of hands who got this idea. So now, guys, how many points black is having extra? +3. +3 is like huge advantage. It is white to play. Can you see any pin right now on the board? Now, whenever I show higher level stuff.
Yes, I see a pin. I see a pin.
Hang on. Whenever from now on, I'll be showing higher level stuffs in the class, I would suggest you should take your time. Chess is not about fast answers. Chess is never about fast moves. It is basically about understanding deeply. And when you try to understand deeply, it will take time. How many of you have already found the pin? Show of hands if you have already figured out a pin. Everyone has found it? Suchit, Luhas, Harshit, Vihan, everyone found it or not?
Yes.
Okay. Now try to figure out white to play. What would you play in this situation? Do not speak the answer. Just think here. I would suggest you take your time and understand that when you have already created a frozen piece, it cannot capture anything if you put and try to attack. Think. White to play.
The rook is pinning the pawn.
How many of you guys agree with Luhas that the pawn is under pin? Everyone found it, right? That the pawn is under pin. Correct. Very good. So it's like guys, the pawn is frozen, cannot move a single square. Okay. So imagine in your mind that this pawn is basically a kind of a rock that cannot move, an immovable rock. It cannot do any harm to you, okay? So it looks like that the pawn is guarding this square and this square. Can I attack one of these squares with one of my pieces?
And basically, you can move your knight to e6.
And we can do that and we will win the game. Now, it is called as a fork in which one of your piece attacks more than one of opponent's pieces. So after this, the pawn cannot take the knight, right? I guess, Luhas, you also found this idea?
Yeah.
The pawn cannot take the knight. The king will move somewhere, and then I'm happy to just take one of the pieces. Are we clear? Find a move. Now, nothing is under frozen, right? Nothing is under pin, isn't it?
Yeah.
But imagine if the knight was not here. Just imagine in your mind, if the knight is not here, what will the rook try to create the pin on? Just imagine if the knight is not here. The pawn will be under pin, right? Just imagine if I just remove the knight from the chessboard, just go away. He goes away from this desktop and all right, he went somewhere. I don't know. Now this is under pin, isn't it? The pawn is under pin. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
But suppose if I put a knight here, the point is you can move a knight somewhere and the pawn will be frozen. Now, what is the pawn guarding right now? What is this pawn protecting right now? Protecting the
king.
The king, also the other pawn. So if I take this pawn with the knight, can the pawn take my knight? What about all of you? Vihan, can the pawn take my knight?
No.
Very good. See guys, all of you, I told you already that the moment the knight goes anywhere, I don't even bother where the knight is going, anywhere, this pawn becomes under frozen pin, correct? Absolute pin. Clear, all of you? Why not? I just go here and now the pawn, please try to take us. I can dare the white side that it can try to take us, but it cannot because it's a pin. Now I will show you something fun. Suppose if I put a queen over here, let's see how will you find the move. It is black to play and show me how will you win the queen. But my task is to win the queen. So where should I put the knight so that it becomes a 4-key? It becomes a 4-key. Okay, Harshit found it. Do not speak. Wait. Let me see if everyone has already found it. How can we create a 4-key? This is slightly tricky, yeah? Wouldn't you guys agree? This is slightly tricky.
G4.
My goodness. You found it. Harshit, were you thinking the same move?
I thought also G4.
G4. And this is a beautiful move. That's how you find these beautiful moves in chess, G4. Now, what happens? One of you explain it to me. Why the pawn cannot take? Because it's pinned. And now if the king moves, what was my main task? Why did I go to G4? What was my main task? What do I want to take now? I will take the queen. That's how you get it. Now, guys, what was the problem? I want Vihan to explain me. Vihan, what is the problem if I go e4 this time? Only Vihan. What if I go to e4 this time? What is a small problem with this move?
The queen will get you.
Exactly. Exactly. White to play and create a checkmate. Now, this is where, this is how a real game looks like. This is how you play real-time chess. Now, what are the pins you can find? All four of you. Try to understand where are the pinned pieces. Yes, I cannot hear you, Luhas. Can you come again?
Pinning the pawn.
Rook is spinning the pawn. So what is this pawn guarding right now? What is this pawn protecting? What do you guys think?
The
The other black pawn. Are we attacking the other black pawn somehow?
No.
No, you look deeply. You look deeply, you'll find it. You look
Yes.
deeply.
Yes.
Who is attacking behind?
The queen.
That's the move, and that's how you find these.
No.
That's how you find these, difficult moves. See, but the moment you understand the concept, it becomes simple, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why pin is so important to understand. Suppose if we are not having the idea of pins, it's a very, very, like, I'm not even sure if anyone will think of it. I will never ever think of such a move if I'm not knowing what is a pin. I will never ever come up with this kind of move. But the moment I understand pins, this is the first choice that comes to my head. And we say, look, Mr. King, please go somewhere else. We can request the king, right? That, you know what, please, if you can go somewhere else, I'll be happy to take the bishop. He's denying it. He's saying, you know what? I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to protect my bishop. So we have to make him go somewhere else. How can we make the king go somewhere else? So we might want to attack it. Yes, Suchit? Any suggestions?
The bishop is protecting the king.
Very good. And the king is doing the same to the bishop, isn't it? Yes, Vihan?
Move the rook to 5G, and then you can make it a check, and then you're gonna get scared, and then
Very
you're gonna be
good.
so happy to get it.
And the king will go away, and then we'll say, you know what, we were earlier requesting you to go away because you did not accept my request, then I kind of attacked you. And then the moment you will go away, bye-bye bishop. Okay, so rook to g5, check on the king, and bye-bye. Now I cannot see any pin. I cannot see any pin right now, but I can see checks. How can I find any check? Who can find any check, by the way? Always see checks.
Move the rook to 1D, and then the rook will gonna get you, and then your other rook will gonna get it, and then it's a check.
Very good. And the king will escape here, right?
Yeah.
And guys, the king and the queen will be on this line. On this line. It's a light square line. So maybe we can try to pin it. Harshit, where is the pin now? Harshit, where is the pin?
Basically, take the bishop and then move it to E1.
Not
Not
E1,
E1.
E6.
E6.
And it's a pin. Now it is like this. So many arrows might be very confusing, yeah? It might be very confusing to us. So let's try to simplify. In order to simplify, let's start playing the moves. Now, first of all, I'll give a check. Let me explain it once more time. What will the white side do? He will say, you know what? I'll just take it. I'll say, fine. Now, Luhas, how can I lost a rook, Luhas, but was I having any support?
Yeah.
Yes. One more rook. I will go like this. All right. Now, switch it. Where will the king run? We are checking the king finally. Where will he run to? He'll run to this square, right? Show of hands if you guys can imagine till now that the moment king goes there, the king will be and the queen will be on this line, on this line. Can you guys imagine this thing in your head? Now let me make a move. Check. Oh, he did not even take us. That's even better. Now, this was something we were expecting. And who will pin it? It's a diagonal. It's a slanting line. Who pins in slanting lines? Come on. Ah, not the. We don't have a queen, Luha. Sadly, we don't have a queen. Where is the queen? But that's their own queen. We don't have a queen. We are playing black. So we have a bishop, which can go like this and freeze the queen. Freeze the queen. Is the bishop getting protected?
Like you're playing free tag and he got the queen and the queen free like.
Now I want Suchit to answer. Suchit, if I try to attack the queen, what if queen tries to eat me? Who is even protecting my bishop? If I try to attack the queen, queen wants to take me. How will I try to recapture the queen? With the
With a pawn.
with the pawn, exactly. So we go here, takes and takes.